Well, happy Friday, everybody. Hope you've had a good week and are enjoying yourselves wherever you are, whether you're in a sunny place like Florida or Hawaii, or in the cold north like I am. You can still have fun, lots of things to do. Skiing, skating, snowmobiling, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, snowball fights, building snowmen, doing jigsaw puzzles, all kinds of fun things you can do in the cold and in the winter. I don't know what you guys do in the hot weather. Just sit around and sweat? Well, not my problem. We'll worry about that when summer gets here. Alrighty, we have a good shout out today, and it's for a channel called Ninjjas In Fur. You should check them out. Really good videos about cats, and some are very humorous, some are informative, and it's just a fantastic channel. So I hope you'll go by and check out Ninjjas In Fur. Well, our story time today is a little bit of humor to it. You ever have somebody say something to you and you're trying to figure out what they meant by what they said? You know, they're ambiguous in what they said, or you're not sure which way to take what they said. You could take it one way and be insulted, and take it the other way and be built up and encouraged a little bit. Well, that's the title of our little story today. It's, make it clear when you share something, make it clear. So the following is a series of actual quotes taken from insurance accident forms. They're the actual words of people who tried to summarize their encounters with trouble. Number 1. Coming home, I drove into the wrong house and collided with a tree I don't have. Number 2. The other car collided with mine without giving warning of its intentions. Number 3. I thought my window was down, but I found it was up when I put my hand through it. Number 4. I collided with a stationary truck coming the other way. Number 5. A truck backed through my windshield into my wife's face. Number 6. A pedestrian hit me and went under my car. Number 7. The guy was all over the road. I had to swerve a number of times before I hit him. Number 8. I pulled away from the side of the road, glanced at my mother-in-law, and headed over the embankment. Number 9. In my attempt to kill a fly, I drove into a telephone pole. Number 10. I had been shopping for plants all day and was on my way home. As I reached an intersection, a hedge sprang up, obscuring my vision. I did not see the other car. Number 11. I had been driving for 40 years when I fell asleep at the wheel and had an accident. Number 12. I was on my way to the doctor with rear end trouble when my universal joint gave way, causing me to have an accident. Number 13. To avoid hitting the bumper of the car in front, I struck the pedestrian. Number 14. As I approached the intersection, a stop sign suddenly appeared in a place where no stop sign had ever appeared before. I was unable to stop in time to avoid the accident. Number 15, I think. Lost track here. My car was legally parked as it backed into the other vehicle. 16. An invisible car came out of nowhere, struck my vehicle, and vanished. 17. I told the police that I was not injured, but removing my hat, I found I had a skull fracture. That's 16, 17. The pedestrian had no idea what direction to go, so I ran over him. 18. I was sure the old fellow would never make it to the other side of the road when I struck him. 19. I saw the slow-moving, sad-faced old gentleman as he bounced off the hood of my car. 20. The indirect cause of this accident was a little guy in a small car with a big mouth. 21. I was thrown from my car as it left the road. I was later found in a ditch by some stray cows. Number 22. The telephone pole was approaching fast. I attempted to swerve out of its path when it struck my front end. And 23. I was unable to stop in time, and my car crashed into the other vehicle. The driver and the passenger then left immediately for vacation with injuries. So there you have it. You can see how garbled things can get when people think they're being totally clear. But sometimes I think we say things and the remainder of our thought that would clarify the speech doesn't seem to come out of the mouth, right? So anyway, hope you enjoyed those little accident reports. And now for our joke. Well, there was a young fellow who got a new job, and it was close enough to his home that he could walk, but he discovered that if he took a shortcut through the graveyard, it cut the length of time he had to walk in half, and the distance in half. And he worked the afternoon shift, as we call it in Canada. In the States, they call it swing shift, which is the 4 to midnight shift. And so he would get off at midnight and walk home through the graveyard. And this worked well for months until one night, walking through the graveyard in the dark, he did not see and fell into an open grave, being prepared for the next day. Well, he didn't panic at first. It was not a bad night. The weather was decent. And so he thought, oh, this is no big deal, until he realized that the grave was too deep to climb out of. And no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't get out. So he figured, well, it's a fresh grave. Somebody will be here in the morning to set up equipment or do something. I should be fine. So he cuddled up in a corner of the grave and went to sleep. Well, not long after, another fellow who happened to be walking through the graveyard fell into the same grave. And he tried several times to try and get out of the grave and couldn't. So he is walking around in the grave trying to see if there's a lower spot or an easier place when he accidentally steps on the foot of the first fellow, who immediately startles awake and yells, "You can't get out of here!" Well, actually, the second fellow did. There you go. Have a great weekend, my friends. I hope you have things to do and can keep yourself busy and enjoy yourself. Spend time with your family and friends, and just do whatever makes your heart feel good. Until Tuesday, when we do something fun in the kitchen, take care, stay safe, and God bless.